Hi, good evening, everyone. Hi, Jeremy. Good evening. Hi, Sham. Hi, Heath. Hi, Vivek. Hi, Shibu. Good evening, guys. Like today was a blunder from me. I wasn't holding any positions in the morning, but then I messed up. Hi, J. G. Good evening. Good evening. I hope you do not had a nasty day like me, but it's okay. I did a mistake. I'll tell you what I did, and then we'll talk. Hi, Sridhar. Hi, Sri Lata. Hi, Nipi. Good evening. Let's anybody who wants to join like the Zoom call right away and want to share, because I really want to spend 5-10 minutes on this, that what happened today, and if anybody wants to share their own views or want to share their thoughts, do let me know, because that's also is really important. I can open the chat. I can paste the Zoom link. So anybody who wants to join, but join only if you want to speak. If you don't want to speak, do not join. I've shared the link. I really want to spend like 5 minutes on what happened today. So again, hi Kishore, hi Bhaskar. If anybody wants to join, do join, but join with the purpose to talk, purpose to share your frustration. Like I'm frustrated today. I made a blunder. Hi Vani, good evening. But hopefully I'll recover in a day or two. It's not a massive blunder which I did. I've done worse things in the past. All right, if nobody is joining, that's fine. I'll start with what I thought and what I did. Now I'm just sharing my thought process. Okay. Hi Nilesh Bhai. If you want to join Nilesh Bhai, I've shared the Zoom link. You can join. So in 2011, let's start from yesterday. Until yesterday, the market was doing fine. And in the evening, we got the news around 5:30 that Fitch downgraded American rating to AA minus. Now, there are three rating agencies: Moody's, Fitch, and S&P. They are really, really important agencies. They define the credit rating for a country. The best is AAA. What it means is that if you're trying to buy a bond for this country, you're definitely going to get back your principal plus yield interest. Okay. Now, if you reduce it, so let's take an example. If you have issued a bond for 10 years, so 10-year bond with an yield of 4%. Okay. It means if you pay a principal of $100 to buy a bond, you are going to get a yield, and I'm considering this yield to be annual yield, 4% interest every year for the next 10 years. Okay. And then there is a bond price which will fluctuate up and down. You bought it at 100, it may go to 101. If the price of the bond goes higher, the yield will come down. They are inversely proportional. So what it does is that when the credit rating goes down, the interest against that bond gets higher. So if from, let's say for AAA, it's 4%, for AA minus, it becomes 5%. Now, if the country's credit rating goes down, what is the problem? The problem is now the country has to pay the higher interest rate. So they have to return more. The tax collected by the government, which they use for all the programs and everything, the bigger portion will go back into interest. Plus, it's a question mark on country's credibility. That's the biggest hit. Now, why we are talking about this? Moody's already did a downgrade on America to AA minus in 2011. S&P, sorry. Now, all the bonds which are currently issued by the government of America, they are of AA minus. So if Fitch downgraded AA minus, it will not have any impact because we are not issuing a bond with the yield of AAA. We are already issuing the bonds with AA minus. But market was waiting for a trigger to cool off, to uh, bring back some sort of pullback into the market, and they used it. So my thought, like I went into long into two positions today. I went into PA and Netflix. Netflix, I would say, held throughout the day. Even at the end, it held at 430 level. BA just went on to lose the momentum, and around the low day of the lows of the day, it closed around that area. Now, my only thought process was that Yellen said this should not impact Fitch downgrade. Jamie Dimon came in the afternoon, said this should not impact. I was under the impression that yes, somewhere during the day, we should make a base and we should come back and do a back test of 4575 area or 4570 and 15606. It never happened. And that's where I got really mad that I was anticipating this and it did not succeed. So I lost about $5,000-6,000. Okay. Now, yes, I did not overtrade. I just did 2 trades and I hang on to those trades. But this was back of my mind that yes, it is not a big issue as market is doing an overreaction. And that was my mistake. I ignored the level that the market is below 4570 and it is also below 4555, which was my big threshold. And that led to me into the losses. I think Nilesh, you were out there on the call. What's your like area? Why you actually got stuck and did not switch into the shorting side?
Today it was just tough for me, and the thing is that I just wasn't able to switch my mind. I don't know. I kept thinking that it's gonna go down. It's gonna find a base, just like you and probably a whole bunch of other people. It's gonna find a base and pop back up. And I really thought I read some of the stuff that Jamie Dimon had said, and I thought, you know what, the economy is very strong. I mean, it can't keep going down, and it just like I just couldn't switch my mind from bullish to bearish, and I struggled with that all day today, and I missed so many opportunities. So, and I think that's kind of what happens with some of us that like yesterday, like I did all this analysis and I was really bullish. Like I had all these stocks that I wanted to go long on, and I had all my levels set and everything. And I just kept thinking that, hey, I'm gonna go in and make some good money. And I just was throughout the entire day, I just couldn't get my mind reset to going bearish. And today was one of those days, so it was tough.
I hope you didn't have big losses like me.
No, I didn't get to that level, and I was actually a funny thing. I was actually kicking myself that I know me and you kind of talked about Humana, and we were gonna go into that, and I just totally missed this. Like, I think that one we would have both made a significant amount of money. So
Yes, I even like recommended that to other people, and yesterday I just forgot to add it in the last minute.
yeah, you know what? That's the funny thing is like I did the analysis and I said, okay, I'm gonna go bullish on it, and towards the end, I don't know what happened, and I just like I had a brain fade, like I just totally forgot.
I
So
was focusing on AMD, and that's the reason. Like when I
yeah,
was focusing on AMD, I totally forgot about Humana.
yeah. Um, and
Anyways, we will learn. But one thing which again I would say, and I should follow the same, should not read the news. Because when we read this news, I just filled up my mind that yes, it's going to bounce. Second thing which cultivated my thought that yes, there will be a bounce was the after hours bounce. It in the evening it went to 45.50 and then bounced to 45.83. I thought that's over. And that kind of like even yesterday, I honestly I went short on ES. I bought puts on ES around 45.85 at 16 for the Friday. I just closed them at 16.5. Those puts made 70. So I was under the cloud that yes, the Jen has given a remark. That's over. And so you need to mute. So from that point onwards, I thought that yes, market will bounce. I picked up right stocks like Netflix was still better than most of the stocks, and the other one was VA. VA started fine, but then gave up. So we learned from it. But I hope QCOM remains down tomorrow morning and help me recover my losses. All right, so
I
let's.
think I think you picked a good one with Qualcomm. I'm just surprised what happened with Shop and Etsy. I mean that both their numbers came out good, and I just can't believe that it after hours. Let's see what happens tomorrow, but I'm surprised about those two because the flow looked pretty good
No, for Shopify, flow was bad.
towards the end, right? But
No,
during the day
throughout the
was
day.
okay.
It was massive selling of the calls, in the money calls, 58 calls, 60 calls, 70 calls. It was massive selling. And that's why when I was looking at it, I could not make up my mind and I focused. Should I use PayPal? PayPal never moves. Exactly it did on the downside. So the only option I had was QCOM. And I was under the impression that all the chip stocks have gone down. Why is not QCOM going down? That was my first rationale. Second rationale was that Samsung posted a disastrous result this quarter, and QCOM is one of the biggest uh, chip provider to Samsung and Apple. So if Samsung is not doing well, how would QCOM do it? And that was the only rationale. I did not look at the flow. I think QCOM did not even have the flow. That's why the options were not so expensive as compared to any other. Like Shopify options were like $3, $4. QCOM option was $250 when I bought 128 put. All right. Sony, you wanted to say something? You were no. All right. So, anyways, whatever has happened, tomorrow we need to look at a better side and see what we can achieve. All right. Again, if you made losses, first of all, review why you made losses. I did. I figured out what I did. I will try not to repeat that mistake. Yes, Ravi. Yeah, go ahead and speak. I'm not able to hear you, Ravi, if you're speaking.
Yeah, I'm so sorry. I was also listening to you on the YouTube. Thank you, everyone, for allowing me to join this session. So I know this is something unexpected that happened today, but will this have after effect for next few weeks or something? Or what is the recovery process from here? Sorry, I'm trying to understand it.
That's
Yeah.
something we need to figure out. As of this moment, it's really hard to tell because we have seen a very clean downside move, and we have broke down the levels which we were holding for really long time, like 34 EMA. We broke 34 EMA on NQ. Now, are we going to do a back test? Yes. If that back test break on the higher side, it's good. If we fail to make a higher high, then things will get serious from here. Also remember, as I said, in September, October, there'll be issues with liquidity. I explained that when I was doing that FOMC meeting. So we'll see how it goes. But as of now, we'll look at the levels and try to not fight the levels. If level is telling you go short, just go short. And just in the morning, like if you look at the Heikin Nishi, it already like, let me just go to ES chart for a moment. Tick, 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 tick. So ES chart style is Heikin Nishi. You see, ES right away gave us that sign. It is flat top. Right away in yesterday's scene. Like if we break it down to 30 minutes, which I prefer, we started the day around 45.81 and we were failing to cross 45.81. That was a clear sign. Like at the 8 p.m., 8 a.m. candle, look, right here, the ES said, go screw yourself. Flat top, flat top, flat top, flat top, flat top, flat top. It clearly said, like, right there, very clean evening star on 30-minute candle. And then 45.47 was the EMA, which we were not able to cross throughout the day. Right now, you see, this is the Fibonacci. What is the after hours high? 45.47. So we are really struggling here on this. So this is 30-minute time frame, but if you look at a daily time frame, we have made a second because the future starts at 6. So this is the today's, we broke below 12 EMA. Now we are trying to test 45.20, 44.95. 44.95 is really, really important. I think if you look at this entire chart from May, or in fact, if you go back, we have not seen a close below 34 EMA until here. So until this is held properly, we should be all right. If we lose it, things will get really serious on the downside. If that helps you.
Yeah, it does.
Yes, Sunu, go ahead.
Hello, Naval Bhai. Naval Bhai, this Twitter feed that just came, that downgrade of Fannie Mae and Freddie Mac, any thoughts on this? How this might affect tomorrow?
Yeah, it should impact real estate banks. But as of now, you can see not so much impact on futures, but we need to wait and watch because I really don't know what is their state of affairs right now. They do issue loans. So if it has to trigger something, I would be really, really cautious on banking or real estate stocks.
Okay. And second question was that in 2011, when this Fitch downgraded, it caused the S&P to drop by 500 points. Do you see a similar?
I just explained that in the beginning that we are already issuing AA- bonds. So from that perspective, we have already covered it, because S&P downgrade from AAA to A minus. All the government issued bonds are now under A minus. So if Fitch downgrades it to A minus, it will not have any impact on the bond market.
Okay, got it. So it should not be like 2011. Okay. Thank you.
No problems. Sony, let's see, 61.8 is a good Fibonacci level hit. Apple, I doubt. We'll see about Apple and Amazon. Hi, Hammer Time. Thanks, Gary. Would you able to tell which market is going to go up tomorrow? Mr. Brad, if I knew, I would sell my house and put everything on that side. What kind of question is that? Anyways, let's start, guys. Let me remove. Ravi, you have anything still?
Ha, Paji, a question. One thing that I even saw on Twitter was, I don't know if it's something to pay attention to, but it says US Treasury announces quarterly refunding of 103 billion to raise about 19 billion of cash. Refund of 80.
It doesn't matter. It's like they deal in trillions, so 1 billion doesn't matter.
Okay, got it. Thanks.
Yes. Okay, let's go and start the analysis. And guys, if you're on Zoom, please mute yourself now. I'm gonna who raised the hand? Sham, go ahead, man. I'll just take last question.
Yeah. So a couple of things. Apple, I was just reading, Apple's major suppliers are Samsung and TSMC, and both of them haven't done well, like,
Yes.
So it might be ripe for a put. I mean, those are just 2 cents. So that's one thing. And the other thing is Fannie Mae, Freddie Mae, like how that works is like, say, Lennar has their own housing. My brother just bought, and the lender does the home loan. They do 6.6 when the market is 8%. And then they sell it off to Fannie Mae, Freddie Mae. So definitely the
Impact is
home
coming
builders,
because
it may be
home
ripe for
builders-
shorting. Yeah, it may be ripe for shorting. If you have any ideas, that we'll be grateful to. Mhm.
I actually I have never traded in any of real estate stocks in
Okay.
my life. Like I'm like kind of a person who trades into
These 20.
limited 20-30 stocks.
Understood.
But logically, we should see
The index
impact
itself,
on-
there's an index, right?
yes, we should see
yeah.
impact on that real estate. We should also see impact on banks, because this is a cycle. This is not just like on Freddie and Fannie. They also have assets under the banks from where they raise the money and then give it to the clients. Now, from 1st of October, when they have to pay their moratorium, and there's some money which will be add on to the current, which is stopped from like COVID, and it will come from 1st of October. It is going to impact, and I expect a trigger in the housing market all of a sudden, because things will get bad from here. But again, the inventory is low. How it's going to be managed, I don't know. But there is something fishy. In terms of Apple, yes, I expect Apple to post less number of iPhone sales or iPad sales, but somehow again, I don't know how they manage it. Somehow they manage to post a gain. For the last 8-9 years, I am not able to figure out how they do it. So my take is I'm going to buy a put butterfly on Apple, but whether it will resonate into a profitable trade, I don't know. Amazon, I was positive until today, but looking at the market, even if the numbers are good, market is not accepting it. So I would really, really like to see what's going to happen to Apple and Amazon. So I will not be trading maybe Amazon. I'll be most likely trading Apple. Yes, Harish, Apple, I don't know how they manage. They do something magical and they bring up with something new service, new something, and then they are always up.
This time they're talking about sports streaming on phones, I think. as a service.
They'll be doing something. Last time they said CDI. That's fine. They'll be talking about Tesla, Apple cars for so long. They come, they push the stock higher, and then they get out. Nothing happens. And I'm telling you, if Apple misses on something, they will kill the stock. They will keep the hell out of like that Apple company stock. It is at all-time highs, above $3 trillion. A miss will not be accepted by the market. So I am really, really concerned how they're going to do it. But in last so many earnings, they have always managed to go higher. All right, guys, it's already late. I have to join office tomorrow as well. So I'll be focusing on ES first, and scan wise, let me just do inside. They will be hardly inside. Nothing. Let me just try bearish candle patterns. None. I can get no, it's not going to come from here. Scan. I will try 1234. I will cross 34 by 12. Let's see if anything turned over on the negative side on daily time frame today. AMD Snow Twilio. That's good to know. So AMD and Snow. Snow I have? No. AMD. $34 by 12. So let's start with ES. The ES, as I said, I'll just make them the normal candles. So ES, in the last 3 days, this was, I would say, a fake breakout as of now, because it did only once and never managed to hold it. If you look at this on the weekly candle, you will have much more clarity that yes, it was a fake breakout. It only covered high than the previous week and then gave up this week. So this is a fake breakout on the weekly candle. So that's one sign. Second sign is it's a bearish candle. And this bearish candle has covered the 2 weeks of bullish candles. Now, yes, the momentum is still green on the weekly candles, but we are in a daily range for now. And in the daily, the red line has actually woke up. It is trying to push higher from bottom, and the green line has given up. You can clearly see from July 21, the green line is kind of giving up. Yes, the market was going higher, but the DMI was kind of giving up, telling you that yes, I'm gonna cool off. There may be a news yesterday which led to a big fall. That's fine. But DMI was telling us very clearly that market wants to cool off because there was a good divergence from the green line on the negative side. Okay, now where we are, we have broken below 45.81 and we are well below 45.47 now. Now, usually when we lose 12 EMA, we should come and do a back test or we clear this line. Now, if you want to be a, I would say, a trader who is aggressive, who likes to like jump onto trades pretty quickly, if we hold on to today's low, come on, like this is today's low. If we go around, today's low was 45.34. If we hold, and in the past we have held on to this area multiple times, this is now an indicator. If we hold this line, we might see a bounce If we lose this line, then we have 45.20 and 44.96. 44.96 is a really, really important area. Now, this may be tested if Apple or Amazon got busted after the earnings. If not, we should be fine. But if we start to lose 45.95, I would recommend people to have hedges on their portfolios, because this will get ugly from this point onwards. As of now, we are fine. We are still in the bull market. The 12 and 34 EMA is still intact. DMI is still green. We are in the regression channel. Yes, we have seen a cool off, but all in all, we are fine. So it is neutral to short for now. Now, where we need to sell if we lose 45.30, meaning roughly today's low. It was 45.27, sorry. So 45.25, let's make. If we lose 45.25, we should be fine to go short. And this is low as 45.28. Just keep on this number. Okay. This was 45.28. This was 45.31. So 1, 2, 3. If we lose this area, then things will get like good for short. If we hold on to this area, then this is kind of a demand area, if you want to call this 1, 2, 3 area. Ravi, I will not take questions in between. I'll take your questions later on. Please lower your hand. So 45.35 is my stop loss. First target, 45.20 is right away, so it's not a big deal. So I'm not going to cover that. 44.95. If we lose 44.95, we should hit 44.60. Now, I would skip 50-50 because I'm not sure. Are we going to break out or break down? Now, are we making any candle patterns? There's no candle pattern at all. But we lost 12 EMA. We got rejected from 61.8 Fibonacci, which is important to note. Lost 12 EMA, rejected by 61.8% Fibonacci, which is bad. Now, if we have to try bounce, I would try bounce above 45.47. Stop loss 45.35. Target is 45.65, 45.81. That's on ES. So unless we clear 45.81, I would not call this as a bullish trend. Now on the book map of ES, let's also spend a minute on that book map. Come on. Let's see where we have. So you can clearly see that around 45.47 to 45.50, we have some level of selling. 45.42 is weighted average price. And you see these bubbles are showing whenever there's a sell-off or there's a buying. Right now, there's no buying. The green bubbles are weak. So these are practically telling us these are sold. And every time it is going up, it's getting sold with a higher volume. And if you go back, you can clearly see that in the 9 p.m., it tried to bounce with some volume, but then it got sold off. Also 45.20, which was like in my Fibonacci level also was there, but it's a small stop loss. 4,505, 4,500 is a good stop loss, and it should be in this range, 4,500 to 4,550. And that's where, like, if you see, there are many people on the Twitter who are using order flows to mention the range 4,500, 4,550. That's the range which they will speak and say, oh, they are master of the universe and something. But it's easily available to everybody. You can use the book map and see. So it's fine for ES. Let's go on to NQ. Now, NQ, my level of 15,810 was really bad. And now my concern is this is actually making a M pattern, which is not a good sign for NQ. NQ DMI has turned red. It has taken over the green EMI. And it is a evening star with a clear area. It lost 61.8 Fibonacci, 15,606. Now it's around 50% Fibonacci, where it kind of making a base. So it's 15,460, where it closed and where it's holding. I think 15,350 is a make or break area for NQ. So NQ is clearly short. So if I have to short 40/60s on NQ, now if it stays and we are rejected, and usually 61 rejected should go to 38. So 38 is going to be a really important number. 15,350, which is the 12 EMA. Then Fibonacci of 38, 15,320. If you have to try along around 15,320 during the day, this should be a really, really good area. Now sell, same thing. If we lose today's low, which is 414, that's massive. Let me just look at any in the previous areas, because there's no consolidation happened here. So it's a sell below 14,465. I'll keep 14,465 as stop loss. If you want to buy, you can buy, like this was a good resistance. So 520, 15,520 and above. $15,465. If you want to try buy above 15,520, and if you're in a position, 15,606, 15,625. So let's take 15,606 as a good first target, and then 15,650. As of now, these are the two targets for me on NQ. And these are pretty clear that yes, the same breakdown. If we lose this, we should come and hit back 320. If we lose 320, then we are going for 140, which is going to be a real catalyst to go down. If we have a close, tomorrow's close below 320 or in the after hours after Apple's earning, I would take that seriously and will try some shorts. Vijay, better not to short good stocks. It's a perception. You need to know when to short. Shorting is an art, buying is not an art. Okay, let's go to triple Q. Same thing. Triple Q already got rejected from 61, 384. Now it's at 374. 374.39, 374, where it's holding right now. DMI is about to get diverged on triple Q. So same thing, 40/60 bias. Now 38 is a really important. So 373 Sell below 373.90. Target is 370, 16. Let me just cancel this. 370.69. $367.60. Again, if you want to try a buy, I would say buy above 376. I just need to find a stop loss for both. I'll find that. 378.50, which is the back test of 12 EMA. And then the gap of 380.70. Last 12 EMA testing 38.2 Fibonacci. Last 12 EMA testing 38.2% Fibonacci. Now, where should be the stop loss? Stop loss is right here. 375 for long and short both. 375, 375. That's about, yes, and all the indexes. Now let's go to individual stocks. Apple. No, Apple, you remember for a very long period, Apple was holding 192. Apple was holding this green line beautifully. This is a Fibonacci. It lost the 12 EMA. So for me, it is all the signs of a negative side. Second, if you look at the Heikin-Nishi candle, it is telling me trend has negative. So I am short on Apple with my bias that yes, it is below 12 EMA, it is below everything. So when you're not sure, just make sure you convert your candles to Heikin-Nishi just to make sure your trend is clear. Short, my stop loss is fine 193.75, which is 12 EMA. Where would I would like to short? You see, it has found support. Come on. It has found support around this area and close around that area. But if we lose this area, which is 192, I think it will have some serious issues. So 192. And let's also check if there is any bigger flow on Apples. And somebody was asking what I use. I use black box for the flow. Apple. Now, Apple, let's look at something. Let's look at if anything is above $500,000. There is a put. 145 call was sold. 195 call was sold. 175 call was sold. I need to see the other leg of this. And if there are any dark pools. Why there's no dark pool for Apple? So Apple has a dark pool of 240 million, 200, about $500 million at around 192.50, 192.60. So we need to check on Apple around 193 area. So if we lose 192 area, I think it's really good on Apple. The most of the calls, if you see 190 calls for September, they are sold. 1.7 million is sold at 8.5, then 8.4, and these are back to back when the stock was above the current closing price. These were added in the past. So you can see there was open interest of 38,000. Most likely, you can clearly see the open interest is getting higher at this time. Tomorrow, I would, and this information which I'm going to share now, please try to understand. It will be really, really useful for you while reading the option flow. People have trouble understanding it. I'm going to spend 2 minutes here. So understand. You see the option price, the open interest, this is the blue line. It's getting higher. It's positive. Okay. The price of the option, it is also going higher. It means these positions were added. Today, the price went down and the open interest will get changed by tomorrow. This is today. The price goes down. Tomorrow, you will see the open interest will also get lower. If the open interest gets lower, it means somebody booked the positions. Okay. The positions were added when it went down here. It was added, and since the volume was there, the open interest was there. Next day, the open interest increased and the price of the option went higher. This is a little tricky to understand, but I'll just repeat. And if anybody has any question, people on the Zoom can raise your hand. People on the YouTube, you can post your question. I'll spend a minute. Anybody who wants to join Zoom call, I've shared the link. So I'll just show you one more time. I'll just change the color into white. This is the open interest. Now, when we are reading option flow, 4 things matters. Open interest, stock price, volume, option price. Okay. Now, this is Apple call 190 September 2023. Now, from June, this is open interest accumulated. The price was $8. The volume was pretty low. The open interest was around 20,000. Now, the open interest remained the same, and there was hardly anything, hardly any volume on this stock. But when it had a volume, massive day, around the low of the day, there was a massive volume, which translated into open interest. And from there onwards, the price went up higher. Every time there is a volume, it is followed by the price rise. But now, in the last 2 days, these are last 2 days, the volume was added, the open interest went up. Today, because the open interest is lagged, it trails by a day. Tomorrow, the open interest should come down. Price has already come down. It means somebody is unwinding their long positions on Apple. This doesn't mean short. It means people are closing their long positions on 190 call for September. So this is one aspect which gives me a very clear idea that yes, Apple should be a good to go on the short side. Then let me look at other, only four on 190. 180 calls, only one. This is also sold. You can clearly see the volume on the same thing as well. The price is going down. The open interest is intact. Tomorrow, if the open interest is lower, because there is a volume today, not enough. But if you see the lower open interest, it means somebody is unwinding. All right. So just try to practice this. You may use any tool, but it should be really, really good. So all in all, Apple is telling me, go screw yourself, I'm going down. That's my take from this. So I will be selling below 192. Any questions, guys? Anybody on the Zoom who has any questions? Let me know. 189.80. And I'll be happy because if we interact, if we discuss something meaningful, it looks really, really good on both the ends. So Apple is sell. Now, what are the logic? Lost 12 EMA, lost Fibonacci. Yes, Ravi, you can speak.
Paji, quick question. So it's good to know we can short Apple, but but if you look at the ERs of the previous companies, right? I mean, even if they had a good ER, they're still getting shorted, right? I mean, after hours, if we see it goes up and
That's
then
what I'm saying. I'm shorting Apple.
okay, it's just
See,
yeah,
companies have moved ahead of their earnings by so much that they are expensive at this time. So it's better
yeah,
to wait for them.
yeah. Makes sense. And one more question. So I saw, sorry, I raised my hand too early before. So we have some political news coming up tomorrow. You think that might impact the market?
I am not going to watch on news because that kills my mindset. So
Okay, all right.
I will only focusing on this level. If this is there, I'm going to short it. Simple and clear.
Got it, got it.
If it is
Okay,
not
thanks,
there,
Paji.
I'm not going to do it.
Got it. Thank you.
AMD. Disastrous number. Lost 38, lost 23, lost important area. All this while it has found a base at 107 where it bounced one more time. This was the area where it bounced. Again, it bounced today. So for me, it's a bearish candle. It's a massive candle. Earnings are not looking good. But where should we short? I would short this on the rise. If we get an opportunity, I'll be shorting this on the rise. Not right there. Sell on rise to 110. Stop loss 111.30. 107, which is, I think today's low is 107.35. If we lose 107.35, then price is 104. Bearish candle, bearish engulfing. $34 took over 12. Took 12 over. So it's converged and bad year. So all these factors, again, if it bounces, it's fine. I'll be looking at this situation. Amazon. Amazon is right on the verge. It has, again, if you see right from this point, where 12 EMA took over the 34 EMA, it only has one closing right here below the 34 EMA. Today it closed below 34 EMA, which is a little, I would say, not a confident trade. So tomorrow, and we are below 12 EMA, 34 EMA below the resistance line of this regression channel. We are trying to break out, but we are gelled together with this area. So I would be really keen. Let's look at Amazon's option flow as well. Again, I'm looking at anything above a million. So I can see that 115 calls are sold. So if I click on 115, all of them are sold. 130 puts. I need to check whether they were added or they were not. There's a volume of, and this is what is interesting. Again, we'll go with the same theory. The open interest was right there. Open interest went higher. Price went higher. It means there's addition of puts. Now, during this period, open interest keeps on adding. Even if Amazon was making newer highs, price was going down, but the open interest was adding. It means people were adding on every single dip. This thing, they were adding, accumulating it. And you can see this number. This keeps on increasing. And you can see the Amazon price was 134, 131, 134, 126, 130, 30, 30, 35. The price was going higher of Amazon from 126. The puts were only getting added. Same thing, it shows the puts are added. And if we look at 915 puts, now let's look at them. Now these puts I think are being sold. Now the same logic, these puts also got a bump. So tomorrow keep an eye on these two puts. September 15, 130 puts, and August 18, 130 puts. If you see their open interest gets higher, then it means that yes, there is a put set up for Amazon. If the open interest gets lower, it means somebody is getting out. We might have a really good result. Just two numbers. And there's only one. Yep, that's a two number thing. So for Amazon, I'll like for Apple, I'm confident. For Amazon, I'm not, because Amazon is at the point where it can bounce. So Amazon, let's take a shot on the long side for now. If Amazon holds this area of 126, again, keeping 126 as my stop loss, I'm going to add two rows for Amazon. One is positive and one is negative. I may not do all the tickers because I'm like really late. So I'll only cover a few more, and then because these are two important ones, Apple, Amazon. We may do QCOM, we may do NVIDIA. Rest, I'll just make a copy of this sheet. I'm not going to do these for today. I think the rest should be fine. Because again, like we should have limited focus tomorrow. I don't want to like engage in so many things. So 126 buy near 128. Targets are same. 136, 150, 140. Now on short side, sell below if you lose 128. Stop loss is 130.50. Target is 120.5. 120, 113.6. If you want to sell, you need to sell it here. Now it's your choice. It should give you a good mode. UCOM, we already have a position, and again, it was right. 128 lost 12 EMA, lost 34 EMA. Both it should find some support at 118, should fill the gap. The gap is at 119.23. So I assume it will be QCOM will be short. Stop loss is 122. 122. I'll keep 122. Sell on rise 120, 121. Target is 119.25. $115. $118. Bad ER. When companies are doing bad ER, like look at Microsoft, every rise you need to sell. Meta somehow is managing to hold on to the EMA, 12 EMA, which is 310. So if something like this is a gap, I would sell Meta below 310. Again, I will not rush into Meta. I will sell below 310. But I would also buy Meta. I will tell you when. And my stop loss will be 1150. Let's make it 312. My target is the gap. The gap is 301.75. And then 296. But Meta can be bought above 315 with stop loss of 312. So Meta can be bought. DA DA had a massive hammer yesterday, and now it's coming towards the 12 EMA. I think it should provide reasonably good support. So BA, I am now neutral. My stop loss is 227.35. I would say buy near this 229 to 30 area. If it gets you dip by 229 to 30 area, and target should be 233, 233 and 237. 233, 237.5. I'm not including CAT because CAT has already done a massive move, so nothing left. Microsoft is sell on rise. It has lost 12 EMA, 34 EMA. It might try to converge 12 EMA. The DMA has turned negative. Now, if market has to go down, Apple and Microsoft should lead. Microsoft is holding this 326 by a very thin margin now. It has tested this area so many times. Below 12 and 34. The only thing it needs is 12 going below the 34, which might happen in a day or two. The trend, if you want to see, the trend is clearly negative on. The trend is clearly negative. So I would like to sell this below 326. Short. Sell below 326. Keep a stop loss of 330. And here we come across some really good area for Microsoft. 316. So the risk reward is good if it goes down. Finish. Plus 12, 34. Testing is important. Support. Netflix, since it broke out, it's trying to hold between 12 and 34 EMA. Again, if you want to see, this is an evening star. It tried to break out, got rejected from the long-term trend line. Now it's right here. Now, if we lose 428, like today low was around 427.80, the 426.50. The 34 EMA is around 427.80. The trend is weakening. If, and it's at 23.6, if it fails, try to sell below 433. So I'm just keeping it neutral. I will have 432.80 as my stop loss. Buy above 433. Buy over 433 for 446. But it's a evening star on daily. So this is a comment in red. Now, if you have to sell below today's low. 426 point or 427.85. Target is around 420 and 410. I'm like half on 50-50. So I'm just giving 50% here on Netflix. And I'm not short, I'm neutral. Now, NVIDIA. NVIDIA came, and what is the low? 433. What is 433? 34 EMA. Tested and bounced right at that time. Now, usually when we do that, it looks fine, but it tries to bounce and do a back test again. But here we had a massive sell-off. So I would say 445 is my stop loss for NVIDIA on the short side. 445. Why choose 445? 445 was the base here. So if this provided a support for a rally to 480, this should provide resistance to move down. Now, first target is 433 on the downside. Once we lose 433, then we should hit 420. It's 60% on the downside, 40% on the upside. Now, again, if you want to go long, usually we should go long above 455. But if you want to try long, look at the base here, 440, 50. So buy above 450, which is like 2% higher from here. So it's a choice if you want to make. 455 and 464. It's a choice you want to make, or if you want to buy near 433. Buy above 449. Roku. Roku has given up. I think it wants to fill the gap around 89. If it fills the gap, that's a very good area to go long on Roku. So this numbers are fine. So I'm waiting for back test, waiting for gap fill and back test. Shopify. Shop had good numbers, lost everything, 38 Fibonacci. And again, you see it got rejected on 61, came 23, bounced right off that regression channel bottom. So if it crosses 63.40, you can try along, otherwise avoid. I'm just keeping neutral on buy above 63.50, because that's the 23 Fibonacci level. Look for 64, 65, 65.50, and then 68. Good ER. Stop loss is 62.30. If it goes below, I will avoid. Last one, everyone's hot favorite, Tesla. Tesla is like trying to break above 12 EMA and it's struggling really hard. Now, question is it going to make a potential morning star? Because we have come down and it's making a dodgy. So for that, I would only go long about 258. So potential morning star opportunities there. By stop loss is 254-ish. Target 265, which is a very big pain point for Tesla. The 12 EMA. And let's see if it crosses 265 or not. I don't have any other target for Tesla. 260. In between, if you want to put 261.50, 265. On the short side, you can short below 250. Stop loss 254. This time we do it, I think we should fill the gap. The low here is 240.7. And then the high here is 235.25. I'm just giving 60-40. Fill the gap. All right, guys. Any question anybody has, you can join the call or ask me on the Zoom. I will give you 5 minutes and then I'll close this session. Anybody who has any question can like.
Hey Naval, what about Baba?
And I'm not covering Baba tonight. It will not matter.
Okay.
What's the Chinese market? Have
Okay.
you looked at Chinese market for tonight? HSI is flat Baba should be 92.70 in there. Right now it's 93.35. So 60%, 60 cents higher. It's moving in Chinese market. So if you look at Baba here, like 95 is 38.2 Fibonacci.
Okay.
So it should provide some good support. I am interested in Baba above 96.25. Not
Okay.
the dip. I'm not going to buy the dip. I wanted to sustain the 12 EMA.
Okay.
Chinese stocks are not up, Kunal. Come on, I just checked it. I don't trade NEO. Sorry. It's not Chinese stock. Chinese stocks is Baba, Baidu, NEO is one of them. It's Chinese stock, not stocks. Anyone has any questions? Otherwise, we are already like 1 hour, 15 minutes.
Hey, Neville, can you go back to the black box stocks and look at Apple? Just wanted to ask you a quick question.
Sure. Apple. Yep.
Yeah.
Tell me.
Okay, that multi-leg you see at 205.
Multi-leg at 205. I need, because I filtered it. So let me just open all them.
The 202, 50, and 205 at 1257.
202, I don't even see anything. Oh, like you're in a different time zone.
Oh yeah, I'm sorry.
So what's you are in California, right? So 3
Yeah.
hours.
Yeah, it was towards the close.
Which strike it was? Tell
It
me
was
that.
202, go up 202.50 and 205.
This one, 202.50, 205.
Yeah, yeah. What is that?
It means somebody has sold 260, 202 calls. It's a bearish trade.
It's a bearish trade, right? Okay, all right. Even though like the 127, it doesn't have an A or B next to it. It just means it traded in between the bid and the ask.
Yes.
Okay.
Somebody sold them and somebody bought them. Like this is one trade. This is one trade.
Okay, got it.
So this most likely will be B, but tomorrow again you can check. The important thing is when you look at the Bs, IV will always be higher in Bs. Okay.
Oh, it would be okay.
Because Apple is not very big mover. So Apple usually like 25, 30, but 27 is a higher IV for Apple. It's like usually 19, 20. Like this is a good IV.
Oh, okay. Okay.
Look at here. This is the call. Look at the IV. 62, selling it.
Yeah.
Wherever you see higher IV, most likely they are being sold. Low IV, they are being bought.
Okay, got it. Thank you.
All right, guys. Thank you very much for joining.
One last thing. Sorry. You said a level for Amazon to watch tomorrow. It was 135 and 125, right? Just
It's right here on the sheet. 126 and 130.
okay. Those are the levels too. Okay. Thank you.